Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of Quarantine Etiquette with the Royal Butler. Now, from all the requests we've had in, one of the most popular is to have an afternoon tea in the garden, and as it's such a beautiful day, that's exactly what we're going to do. I have the same table that I used for the lunch setting. I have clothed it the same way, and then once again I've got a couple of chairs. I'm going to get one of my students to help me lay this afternoon tea table, a very important student who is in the middle of their training, and but I'm going to obviously demonstrate the first placement just to show you the correct way that this is done. The first thing that we're going to use is the plate as guidance for the cutlery. These size plates are slightly larger obviously than the side plate. It's traditionally known as a fish plate, part of the larger services you used to get. If you don't have this size, then just use your side plate, which I'm sure you've got one of. And again, I'm going to measure from the knuckle to the tip of my thumb, which is about 1 inch. Perfect. And then I'll get my knife and fork. It's the starter sized knife and fork that you want to use for the afternoon tea, not the large. Some people might actually want to use cake forks and that kind of thing. They are lovely as they might be, but not for one of my tea tables. We just use, as I said, the starter size cutlery. Make sure it's measured 1 inch from the edge. And then you're going to get your teacup and saucer and place those down, and the teaspoon. As I'm doing this, you can see that I'm just buffing the cutlery to make sure it is nicely polished. Teaspoon always goes at 6 o'clock, handle always goes at 3. None of this nonsense where you put the teaspoon across the top. Very hotel-y. We don't do that here, not in a private home, and certainly not in my home. The next thing we're going to do is put the tea strainer down. You want that somewhere near where the host or hostess is going to be sitting, because they're going to be pouring the tea, so make sure it's nearby. And you can also use another an old sugar basin or sugar bowl for the tea strainer, because then what you can do is when you pour the tea, if you're worried about drips, you can then just place it over here, and obviously that's going to hold quite a lot of drips. And then you've got your sugar dish, which you might want to use. You don't need to have sugar, but it's always nice to offer it. Some people like to offer saccharine as well, or alternative sweeteners. Some people also offer lemon if there's an Earl Grey, so bear that in mind. Very finely sliced lemon, and then you put it on a plate, and then have a pair of tongs or a little fork so that people can help themselves to that. But as I said, that's normally either for an Earl Grey or just with some hot water and lemon. Then we also need to put down a spot of milk, so there's the milk. We've got the 2 pots here for the tea and the hot water, which obviously the butler, yours truly, will prepare and bring in when the guests have arrived. And I also just want to quickly talk to you about the honey, because people have asked me if you can offer honey for afternoon tea. You can. Some people like to use the honey as a sweetener, an alternative, more natural sweetener. You can also put the jar on the table. I want to assure you, I've seen this done in the grandest homes in the land. So if they can do it, you can do it. And for this, all you need is a side plate. Obviously you place it on the side plate, and then you'd also have a teaspoon, which just for the demonstration purposes, you would place down like this, and then you'd have your teaspoon just in front. So the last thing we need is the napkin. So we've got a napkin already folded into 4. What you're going to do is make it into a triangle. You've got the front, the back. You're going to bring the corners down like this, so you end up with that very simple fold, and then that will get placed on the plate. And that is more or less it. I'm obviously going to remove the honey, because we're not going to have the honey today. As I said, this is just for demonstration purposes. But what I'm going to do in a second is get one of my students to come in, and they will then have a go at laying up just one place set, and I'll keep it very simple for them. And then guests will arrive, and the butler will go and get the tea. I think today we're going to be offering some cake. So I've also got the cake slice, which I will position there, which will be used for the cake, and there'll be some biscuits. You can also offer sandwiches. Traditionally it's sandwiches, maybe scones and cake, but it's entirely your preference to what you want to offer. And for my guests today, as I said, I'm going to offer some biscuits and some cake. So this is my student Shimba. Shimba, could you please lay up the place setting just as I've demonstrated a second ago? Well done, Shimba. Just there, that's lovely. Very good. Yes, thank you. Almost about an inch from the edge of the table, I'd say. Maybe just a little bit more forward. Well done, perfect. And then can I get you to put the knife and fork down, Shimba? Well done. Nicely done, Shimba. And the knife on the other side. Yeah, that works. See there? Well done, Shimba. Yes, that's not too bad. And then if I just get you to place the napkin down, please. Well done. That's very good, Shimba. Yes. Maybe just a bit more on the plate, but that's okay. That'll maybe, yeah, maybe just a little bit more over. Okay. And then Shimba, do you want to bring in the teacup, please? Very nicely done. Thank you. Well done, Shimba. I think that was very well done, and I think we can now call the guests in for the afternoon tea. Don't you think so? Yes. So I've now brought the tea back, hot water, the biscuits and the cake. If you're in a situation where you've got a table that is quite small and you can't really fit everything on, then you can leave it on another table near where you're going to be sitting down. So this would be the tea station, if you like. So the hostess could then come over here, pour the tea and take it back to the table, if that makes life easier. And as I said, especially if it's a smaller table. So we're now ready. The tea is here. We've got the tea table laid up. It is certainly fit for royalty in my mind. So it means only one thing: I can now go and summon the guests. Now, how's the best way to do this? Would you like some more tea or another biscuit? Would you like a napkin? Okay. Oh God. We don't really lick we don't lick the plates at the table. Yes, I can see we're going to need quite a few tea classes, ladies and gentlemen.